Yo, what's up, fam? It's your boy, E.T. Hey, y'all been seeing these videos I've been doing where I've been like, what do you want? What do you need? Right? And so, got some feedback. And so for the S2S podcast, we're gonna remove it from its current home, right? And we're gonna put it, on its own page, right? So you can do what? Have clear access, a clear path to get everything you need. So do me a favor, don't embarrass me now. All right, so we're about to separate it, and we're gonna separate it for you, but make sure you use it. Stop what you're doing right now. Don't be like me. You're going through your phone a year later trying to find somebody's name because you didn't stop right then and put it in. So go to S2S Podcast channel right now, all right? Click that link, get over there, get subscribed so that everything we got going, announcements, reward, everything is gonna come directly to you, all right? So stop what you're doing right now and go sign up. No, I mean right now. Like right now.
Secret to Success podcast, baby.
What's going on, world? Welcome back to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined by my brother, Dr. King is in the building.
What's up, y'all? Man, let's get it, bro.
Shout out to our Patreon fam tuning in. This is especially for y'all. We're missing somebody who's supposed to be right here. The hip-hop preacher called us and said, hey, I want to do a podcast this morning. We said, all right, bet, let's do it. And he ghosted us.
You got to give him a little detail. What time did he call us? Like, how early did he tell us?
When did he say it? He said it.
I'm just saying, bro, he said it last night.
Oh, yeah.
It was early. Like, hey, we got to get together early in the morning.
Oh, yeah, early.
Yeah.
And so then he texted me and said, yeah, I'm running about 15 minutes behind. Then he texted about 15 minutes later, said, yeah, I ain't gonna make it. So we here. And since we here and Jose set up everything, we're gonna get y'all a pod anyway. And if this setting looks different, it's because we're at House of Hope Forward in Atlanta, Georgia. For those of y'all who attend church, y'all know we do church down here once a month. It's called Forward. It's free to attend, of course. Pull up. House of Hope. Make sure you go to the Forward website, whatever that is. Maybe we can put it on the bottom and pull up. But today, Forward is going to have a little different energy because they brought in the good doctor, Dr. King, to deliver a word to the people. And him and E are about to do like a Kobe and Shaq sermon.
Why we got to do Kobe and Shaq?
So because Pippen and
Who said Pippen? I didn't say Pippen.
Jordan, they don't really fool with each other like
They don't, but back in the 90s.
So it's awkward to say.
I know, but back in the 90s.
They make it seem like y'all ain't gonna like each other in 20 years.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Kobe and Shaq, they pieced it up before Kobe passed, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying?
I give you that.
Or you can go, we could go Luka and Kyrie.
Well,
That's the new one.
the jury's still
Tatum
out.
and Brown. It's gonna be one of them.
It definitely is going to be one.
But anyway, so you're here today to do a co-message with E in about, let me see, an hour and 15 minutes. What is the message that you want to give to the people today?
Yeah, so first off, man, I'm just blown away, bro. Just to, being next to E on stage and just, man, a man of God, and have an opportunity to just being able to restore people's faith.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's the real message. Over the years, man, I've been getting messages from people, not just in real estate, but in life. Where people seem like people have been defeated.
Mm-hmm.
People's faith has been depleted. And man, we just want to give them a message and give them a word and let them know that God has not forgot about you. Mm-hmm. And let them know that whatever you're going through is just for a season. And it's not a permanent decision in your life. And so that's exactly what we hear, man. We hear, and it's crazy that this church is called Forward, right? This is, it's Forward. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, the word teaches us you gotta forget those things which are behind you and press forward to those things which are ahead. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in the past You know, we get stuck in the past on what happened to us back in the day, what our parents did, what somebody did to us, somebody treated me wrong, and we forget all of the things that God got in front of us.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is all about. And, you know, when he, you know, told me the name of the church, bro, Forward, and I was like, bro, it's so fitting.
Who came up with that name?
You know what? I don't know. Was it you?
Of course.
Really?
Of course.
Okay, bro, this is the first time. This is breaking news. I never knew that. And I still got to check the facts. I got to check the cop facts. Because he might say something different. It might have been DD.
If you use your deductive reasoning and you say, man, that title was fire, who came up with that? It's going to lead you back to one road. You know what I'm saying? This is going to lead you right back.
Why did you come up with the word Forward?
You know what? This was a couple years ago. Honestly, same reason you just talked about. Like, I really think that people allow what's behind them to determine what they think their possibilities are in the future, right? And so, again, you said it. Most of us are, this is gonna sound bad, but like, we kind of fall in line with what, you know, we were taught, right? So I'm from Michigan, right? And so, more importantly, Lansing, Michigan. And so there is a pattern of kind of how things go for individuals from Lansing, right? And obviously we got some fantastic people doing fantastic things, and the blue collar people, I love y'all to life, but we're not taught certain things. I never heard the word entrepreneurship. I told you, probably until I met E, I didn't even really know what a motivational speaker was. I never heard of Tony Robbins. I never heard of Les Brown. I never heard of Zig Ziglar. I never heard of Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I wasn't introduced to any of that, right? Like, that just wasn't our reality. Like, I was like, bro, people going to conferences. I never heard the term personal development in my life. Like, to think that I spent my whole adult life now in personal development, I never heard of that. But it's because of my past. Like, my past was very blue collar. You know what I did hear about? 9 to 5, pension, insurance.
Yeah.
GM, on the line, third shift, second shift. That was my terminology. And so I think Forward is all about like, okay, cool. You already got what's behind you. That's done. You can't do nothing about that. Now what's forward? So when I was thinking about church and what we really wanted people to think about was forward. But the thing I really want to discuss today is making it personal. Like, y'all know, like, I'm very transparent about my walk, you know, with God and everything, and just kind of how I grew up. You know, I grew up Catholic, right? And so we didn't do like the Bible like that. Like, we do the Bible, but it was like, bro, you're Catholic church. The priest gonna do one scripture.
Yeah.
He gonna wax deep for about 45 seconds on it, and we're gonna sing a couple songs. We're gonna get out of there. So I didn't really know the word like that. It wasn't until I met E that I really started learning the word, right? And I still, because I was so far behind probably everybody, may have not caught up in terms of like, oh, 2 Samuel, you know what I mean? Like, per se. But I do know the scriptures, and I do believe those, right? And I do apply them, right? Like, I guess one of my gifts in life is that I told my wife, I said, yo, I'm probably the smartest dumb person there is. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, scholastically, bro, you sit me down and take a test, that just ain't it. But I do use practical information.
Yeah.
So when I hear stuff and it speaks to me and I get the word, I'm actually using all of the scriptures that I'm following, I'm using. And I think that's what you do a great job of, and that's what I want you to talk to people about, is making it personal. Because we read the Bible and it's like, almost like fantasy, like Trey be reading like Percy Jackson.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, all of these things happen, but you never really internalize it like, okay, this is for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is not like entertainment when you're reading the Bible. Mm-hmm. Find a man diligent at his work, he'll stand before kings and not mean men. Like, I write that in my phone and I believe it. So I work diligently, and now I work with my best friends and my brothers. Like, that's a principle that I live by. But I think some people, you going through the word and you reading it like Trey reading Percy Jackson or Harry Potter or whatever them things is, and you just like, wow, you doing all of that. And all of a sudden now you got fear. Who can add anything to their life by having fear? And you got fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, talk to people who are struggling to personalize the word to them And you actually talking about even writing your own name in there, like when God's promises are in there.
Yep.
It's like, bro, God's promises, if you use them, are really a cheat code. If you think about them.
Absolutely.
Like to your life, that's why I say, I'm like, I be looking at people, I be like, do you really believe what you're reading, or are you just reading it for fun?
Yep.
Because if you believe what you're reading, God promises a cheat code. Like back in the day, Mario was like, oh man, I can't really beat this level. It's like, all right, cool. A, B, skip, A, select, start. And you right past it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how I look at the promises of God. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm struggling with this level. Let me go to the word, find what it say. A, B, skip, start. Boom, I'm already past that. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things that I think, like I said, you do an incredible job of is personalizing it and making it unique to you and making it special to you. Talk to the people who read in the Bible for entertainment and let them know how to start personalizing it so they can stop dealing with the same foolishness they dealt with in 23, the same foolishness they dealt with in 22, the same foolishness they dealt with in 1994. How do you make it personal so that you can go forward?
Yeah, well, first off, you have to understand that, that whether if you don't have a personal relationship with God right now, God got a personal relationship with you. Like Jeremiah 1:5, he said, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew your name. Think about that. So while you're sitting back and you're reading the Bible and you're thinking like, oh man, the prophets, man, they great, man, God really looked out for them. No, God actually looked out for you. He knew who you was before you was formed in your mother's womb. He already had he already knew exactly what you was going to be, what you were going to do in this world. And so when I started reading the Bible, man, I just was like, when I was reading about Abraham, let's say when we were trying to conceive little Jay, and I looked at, man, Abraham had the same kind of issue. He was trying to conceive the son also. And when I looked at it, I could sit back and say, the scripture says when everything was helpless, Abraham decided to believe anyway. When I read that, I was like, this is not just about Abraham. This is about me and my situation. Correct. And then when I took that, I made it personal, and I saw that I used the prophet to say that, okay, he decided to believe anyway, right? So the first thing I said was that, man, believing is a decision. And so I broke the scripture down, but I made it personal for my life. And I'll just start saying that, if I want to believe something, then I need to make it personal. I need to do like Abraham do it. I need to make a decision that I'm going to believe that even though it looks bad, I'm still going to say that, what did God say that I could do out of this? And I think a lot of us, we look at the scriptures and we read it, like you said, like it's a novel. We don't make it personal for us. But yet the word says that all things are possible to the one who believes.
And that's, okay, so that's what I'm saying. Stay on there, because I'm like making it personal, because I got a homegirl and I'm like, yo, is she like, when I say she know the word, she like one of them, she know the word. But I be like, yo, you playing the victim? Everybody done offended you. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, how is that? Like, this don't go together. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine having all the knowledge. And again, that's why I said I'm the smartest dumb person. Bruh, I can't remember all of them, but the few that I remember and know, I'm applying, and it's getting me to the next level. Meanwhile, so if you know 10,000 scriptures and you're using half of one, and I know 13, and I'm using all 13.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? And so personalizing it for me is, okay, cool. What does it say about what I'm feeling? If I'm feeling stressed, what does it say about that? If I'm feeling like, man, okay, I'm not operating in faith right now. What does it say about faith? Okay, go back to faith. This is what it says. Faith without works is dead. Okay, let me go to work. Like those are things that actually I'm listening to and applying and making it personal for myself. So what do you think about people who have all the information, but they're not able to personalize it?
Well, a lot of times people, they might have the information, but they don't. So something I've been doing down for the last, I want to say probably about the last 17 years, is every single day I take one scripture. I take one scripture, I meditate on that one scripture, I try to commit it to memory, and then I send it out to about 15 different family members. And then that way that when something comes up in your life, sometimes it's hard to even know that this scripture even exists. So I think you got to play the offensive, right? Beforehand, before something comes up in your life, you already got to have an idea of what scripture speaks to what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And that's the deal. So I don't have to go looking in the Bible. That scripture automatically comes back to my memory and it speaks to that thing that's taking place in my life. And I think a lot of people, they know scripture, like you said, but they still just know it from a outer source. They don't make it for them. They don't believe it for them. They still don't believe that it exists for them.
And do you think it's because of the fact that they have I'm using failure, and I mean, you're getting back to why we call it forward. And I'm using people are haunted by their past, yo.
It's
like,
hard, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like trauma and stuff that people went through is like, you know, like I was telling you, my own girl, I'm like, yo, I just know you've been through a lot, but it's like, all right, what does the word say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you believe it, cool, but if you can't live in the past and in the forward at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about forward is like, all right, cool, it's behind. And it's a part of the story for sure.
Yeah.
But what Carl said, all great stories
What did he say?
come from behind.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? And Carl was wilding, but the Carl had a point where he wasn't, if he would have said it correctly.
Yeah.
But to your point, moving forward, right? What does forward look like now for you, even though now you have, you know, accomplished all of these things? When you think about forward now, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, forward is the future. Forward is the vision, right? You know, the Bible tells us to make the vision, right? Write the vision and make it plain so that those who read it may run with it. Forward is about forgetting everything that's behind you. When you really think about it, you can't change nothing that's taking place behind you. Like what is focusing on things that's
But
behind
don't you think like and I'm using what you went through shapes what you think your forward is going to look like. So how can I be excited about looking forward when I'm thinking about what's behind me? And then it's almost like if I got bit by a dog 4 times, it's like you telling me I'm going over somebody's crib with a dog, I'm already like, it's about to happen again. You see what I'm saying? Like I think that's how people operate, was like, all right, you telling me like, you excited about forward because you excited about your past too. You know what I'm saying? Like you always say, I give credit to the 40-year-old Jemal, I got to give the 30-year-old Jemal credit.
But even when
listen, let me finish. Yep. Somebody's going to say, I give the blame, and I'm using where the 40-year-old, and I'm using John Doe is to the 30-year-old John Doe. Does that make sense? Just like you say, hey, I'm a millionaire, I got the beautiful family, my wife, my kids, you know, college, we got all of this going on, and I give the credit to the 30-year-old Jemal. Somebody is not where they want to be. They don't like where their situation is, and they giving the blame to that person. The inverse got to be true too. So now when you saying forward, I'm looking like, bruh, this last time I did forward, it didn't look like forward. So now you telling me to look forward. I ain't excited about forward.
Yeah, that's still, so when you look at the Bible, man, you look at just that forward mentality is investing. If you think about it, it's investing, right? It's sowing seeds and then it's reaping. For every time there's a season in your life. So that season, if something happened in the past, that was merely just a season, right? That doesn't mean that that's how your forward is going to be just because that's how your past.
And I'm
right. So I think that person that got that mentality where you are saying that I'm not going to move forward because of what happened in my past, you know, that's not a God-like mentality. Everything with God is always about, you know, seek and ye shall find. It might not happen as fast as you want it to happen, but it is going to happen. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door shall open. Those are all mentalities of that, all right, it might not take place at this very moment, but it will take place. And so you gotta like literally forget those things which are behind you. If you keep focusing on the things that happened to you in the past, you're never gonna move forward to the future. And I see people are steadily just stuck in the past. They stuck in the past when it comes to their marriage. They stuck in the past when it comes to their finances. They stuck in the past when it comes to their health. And that's why they still have not gotten out of that past mentality. They haven't moved forward. And so if you keep that same mentality, you're never going to progress in life.
So let's talk about then like what momentum and getting that momentum on your side looks like. I'm 40, I'm 30, I hear what y'all saying. I'm not where I want to be. And I'm using backwards ain't been great. All right, how do I start? I'm ready to go forward. I'm ready to do what y'all talking about. But what does that even look like? Because a lot of people, I don't even really understand what we mean by that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna be real. Y'all know me, man. I always try to talk from a place of like, and I'm using not like, oh, we're up here, we're this, like, but to really talk to you like, yo, we done been through some stuff and we just, figure some things out and we still figuring things out. Like, so this isn't like me coming to y'all like, oh, we figured it all out and we just go forward. But like, what do you think? And I'm using first step of like, yo, and after you talk, I'm gonna try to think of some things that was like forward for me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this life that I'm living, this was not, okay, so you got the natural next step, right? Like, and I think both of us, again, we would sit here and fight all day about who got the best parents between me and you. We got 4 phenomenal parents, right? They did an incredible job. But we skipped a step in terms of the evolution of probably where we were gonna be financially, maybe, in terms of maybe even the position we put our family in, behind us, right? Like this wasn't, the natural step for me might have been like 100,000 and like a bigger house in Lansing, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we skipped that step. And so I want to go back and I, really think about like, all right, what did forward look like to really get everything that I wanted out of life, right? For somebody listening, what would those first steps be? Your advice on first steps for somebody who like, I'm like completely in the dark, I'm hurting, anxiety, depression, me and my wife ain't really rocking like that, funds is tight. Tell me what forward looks like.
Man, the thing I love about the word is that there is literally a scripture for every single thing that we go through in life. And I would tell a person, you always start with the vision. Write the vision and make it plain so that those who read it run with it. The first thing you have to do is write that vision. What is the vision? What do you see for yourself? Right? What do you see for yourself? It's like, all right, cool. So if what area? So if your area that you want to see forward movement in is in your marriage, what does your perfect vision of your marriage look like? And I tell people all the time, don't use your eyesight. Matter of fact, when you're creating a vision, close your eyes. And the reason why I want you to close your eyes is because your eyesight will lie to you. Your eyesight will lie. Your eyes will tell you, I come from a long line. This the past thinking now. I come from a long line of divorcees. And so because my parents got divorced, my grandparents got divorced, then I'm going into this marriage now with the mindset that I'm going to get divorced too. That's why God said, forget those things which are behind, because if you focus on that, you're going into that marriage now already with that failure mindset. So now what you have to do is I got to create the vision. I'm going to be a generational breaker. We're not going to have divorces no more. I'm going to be that first one that's going to have—
So give me the practical steps.
So the practical step was, what does that good marriage look like?
Well, you're saying write it down.
Write the vision.
Right, literally write it.
Literally write the vision, because a vision that you don't write is nothing more than a thought. So you need to write the vision and make it plain. What exactly do I want this ideal marriage to look like? And when you're doing it, don't look at the past. Don't look at your grandparents. Don't look at your parents. What does it look like to you? And the thing I love about vision, bro, vision, you can literally create whatever way you want it to look like. You can make it happen. When I close my eyes and I see my vision, that's why I said, whoever listen to this, close your eyes. Because when you got your eyes open, right?
And I'm using—
Your eyes will lie to you. Your eyesight, 20/20 vision, right? That means you can see 20 feet in front of you, right? But when you have vision, we can see 20 years in front of us. We can see 30 years. So I want to see myself married in blissful marriage for the next 20, 30 years. What does that look like? And then you write that vision down. You write down what things you see, like literally live in it. That's something we're going to talk about today, is living the vision. So once you write the vision, the next thing you want to do is live in the vision, right? A lot of people just write the vision down, but they don't live in it. When you live in the vision, see, you literally see it, and you are, all right, cool, me and my spouse. What makes us have a happy marriage? And all right, man, we spend quality time together. We travel together. You know, man, I'm gonna give my wife the option to be able to leave her job or not, and be able to be at home with her family. So, because those stressors that maybe somebody in the past had, right? My parents, maybe both of them was working. They kind of got separated from themselves. They didn't know each other. So I'm going to write the vision of my spouse is going to be able to have the option to work or not. You write those things down and then you visualize it. You see it. You see what going to lunch in the middle of the day while everybody else is at work look like. You close your eyes and you see your spouse not having that stress. You see your spouse being able to support you and help you and you two building a business together. You take what you see in your vision and you bring it into the reality. But the problem is that more people take what they see in the reality and they bring it into their vision. And that's why they disappointed, they upset. You know, they're not living the type of life that they want to live, is because reality is not real. People say reality is real, right? But reality is nothing more than what you see with your sight. But your vision is actually what's real. You know, you take those things that you see in your vision and you bring those things into your reality.
So one of your, famous quotes has been floating around the internet, but I got to bring it back to you. Your level of exposure will determine your level of success.
Yeah.
So where does what you just talked about? I love it. It was fantastic. Write the vision, make it plain, really having a vision for yourself and what that looks like. How does that then tie into exposure, right? And so, in that regard, I'm thinking of myself, like for me, being exposed to E, you know what I'm saying? And even though E wasn't on the highest level when I met him, like he was speaking, he was getting paid to speak. I never even knew that was a thing. Like I had been talking for a long time and never got paid for it. But when I was exposed to it, I was like, oh, okay, here's what's possible. And how do you go about getting that exposure and then tying that vision and exposure? Because do you think it's possible for people to I didn't even know the vision. Like I couldn't have been like, write the vision. Okay, I want to be a world famous motivational speaker. I hadn't even been exposed to anything like that. And so do you have to get the exposure before the vision? Like, or would you say, and go back to your own vision, like when you start having these visions, was it something that you just completely made up out of thin air? Or did you see, oh, okay, I like how, the Cosbys was living when I watched that. Like, what was the exposure that you had to lifestyle of the rich and famous? Yeah. Or, my parents had this great marriage. Like, what were the exposure pieces and how does that tie to the vision?
Yeah, so you just look around you, exposure is everywhere. And like I said, your level of exposure. I think that once you create a vision, there's different levels of the vision that you've created, right? Mm-hmm. It's different levels. So at one point in time, I said that when I was 8 years old, I said I wanted to be a millionaire, right? And it's crazy that I got my level, like what 8-year-old that live in a middle class, blue collar community even know what a millionaire looks like? Right. I used to just see, and crazy as it is, I used to watch a cartoon. My favorite cartoon was DuckTales.
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck. I used to watch that every single. All right, no, remember when Scrooge McDuck would just be swimming in the gold coins? I was like, yo, my man would put on a bathing suit. Bro. And he would just be swimming. Balling, bro. But he was cheap as heck. But I used to say and then back in the day we had Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Mm-hmm. And they never had a black person on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. For real? I can't remember.
Sammy Davis Jr. never met.
I don't know, bro. And I used to say though that, man, I used to look at how the kids would just be looking at their parents, man, and just everything would just seem okay. They would always be smiling. I've never seen anybody frown. But my sister...
I think for me it's Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. I was like...
But that was fake.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I was like, if I give me one...
Scrooge McDuck was real. You know what I'm saying? He was real.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
But I used to see, Carla, man, my sister, her favorite TV show growing up, man, was Good Times. And I'm using... And, bruh, Good Times was filmed in Chicago. It was in the projects, Robert Taylor's. And I would always see on Good Times, bruh, they would always be disappointed. The name of the show was called Good Times, but it seemed like every day was a bad time. But no matter what, they just seemed like, they got used to defeat. They used to, every day something would happen that just kind of set them back. It's like they almost made it and then it seemed like they would always get set back. And they was okay with it. But
used to defeat is crazy.
They got used to it. They just was they looked for the defeat in every situation that took place. And I just was like, wow, it's really people that's living like this. But then with Lifestyles of Rich and Famous, they just always was just happy. And so I just saw that. And I remember saying to myself at a young age, man, I want my life to be like that. Mm-hmm. I want my life to just be where my children are looking at me. They never had to worry about In good times, if they was doing something, everybody would have to pitch in and they would be like, oh, I ain't got it today. But if it just seemed like, but yet lifestyle, it's like everything was just there for them. I seen how the husbands would take, how the wives seemed so happy and the husband seemed like a provider. And I just always remember that I wanted that. Now, that was a certain level that helped me in the beginning to get my vision together, right? So at a young age, the vision wasn't as clear, but it was defined. That makes sense? That's one thing. Your vision don't have to be clear to you, but just define what is your vision. And then as you go along, right, faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. So as you creating this vision, you don't have to have it all figured out. It's at that point now, it's just hope, right? And then for me, I went after. The older I got, the more doors I went to, right? I was getting more evidence of the thing that it is that I was searching for. So therefore, then in my adult age, my friend had made it to the NFL, right? This was the first form of exposure that I got of my vision that I've had ever since DuckTales, right? And it was in reality, it wasn't on TV anymore.
Right.
And I saw how, when I saw him with his parents, I saw him with his siblings, I saw him with his girlfriend at the time, they all seemed happy. It was that same kind of memory that I had back with Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Everything seemed like everybody was happy, just saying, but yet in my life in Chicago at the police department, it seemed like good times. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like the people that was working with me, they were talking like good times. Even though we was getting paid for that check, they couldn't, it was like, they couldn't do things until they got that next check. And it just seemed like even then, it seemed like it wasn't enough money. So I said, if I stay in this, then I'm never going to get to what my vision was that I had a long time ago. So when you have that vision acts as a GPS.
So you have to have the exposure with the vision.
The first thing is you got to have a vision.
And
then once you have the vision, now you have to go after the evidence of a high level of the vision, right? So, like I said, your vision is like your GPS. It's literally going to tell you exactly what steps to take to get to that destination in your life. But along the way, you want to go find that evidence on a high level so that you can then say, man, it's possible. That's all it is. When you get that exposure, the exposure is nothing more than your evidence to say that what it is that I'm seeking is possible.
Yeah. And like I said, man, for me, being, 20 some years old and seeing doing stuff and being able to go, okay, like that looks cool. Like I'm trying to think, like for me, I don't even know, like beyond football, right? Like, of course, cause I was 17 years old and tore my ACL for my second time and football dreams dashed. And that's the only vision I ever had. It was just like make the NFL. And it's crazy because I was like, I never even liked football. Like to this day, people be like, man, I know you was you loved it. Like I never loved it.
I loved it because it was the thing that was going to get me to my vision.
Right, for sure. And I'm saying, I didn't even really, and I'm using playing football. Like I played basketball, but I thought football was going to get us to the promised land, right?
So was that your vision though, to make it to the NFL?
I would say at one point for sure. Okay. That was the only vision I had, I lied. The vision I had was either you make it to the NFL or you just work at GM. But that was the only, and when nobody really rapping.
That was the exposure.
So people say rapping, playing ball, or whatever. I wasn't no drug dealer. I wasn't hood like that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wasn't no rapper. So football was like, all right, cool. This would be the vision for me because I'm good at it. But again, I tell y'all this all the time. It's crazy. Just to think of how you need to be exposed to stuff because I have been speaking my entire life. I told y'all, since I was 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I promise you, any type of class projects, class president, we need to speak, we got debate, we got anything. I was always that. 8th grade, introduced the mayor of the city of Lansing, spoke for 20 minutes, standing ovation, no notes, no nothing, just talk, just about issues at the school, whatever was going on. Mentor of the year, started mentoring in high school, started a mentoring program, all of those things. During that time, I never in my life had a vision to be a speaker, a trainer, or be around a speaker, anything, until I met E. And I'm like, yo, how many people out there you you have a gift and you have things that you should be doing, but you don't even know because you haven't been exposed to like what that would really look like in order to elevate that vision. So I hear what you're saying about the vision, but for me, I don't even know if it was possible to be like, what do you want? Okay, like, because I think when people think of vision, like, all right, what do I want? Oh man, I want to live in a big mansion. I got 2 Ferraris and a Bentley outside, swimming pool, little bowling alley in the bay. Oh, that's my vision. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's cool, but I don't know how practical that is. If that makes sense. Like, you kind of have this vision and then it's like, okay, now what? When I got around E, it was, okay, not only do you have a vision, here's the how.
Yeah.
Like this is, the how is we about to run around to these schools, right? And we're gonna speak everywhere we can and we're gonna record it and we're gonna put it on YouTube and we're gonna, you see what I'm saying? Those practical steps.
Yeah.
So for you, having the vision, yes, super important. Having exposure to how to attain the vision is just as critical. And then when I talk, going back to our earlier question, step by step, what that first step, I wrote it down, boom. But now I got to work towards it and find the information as to how to access this vision.
Well, I think it's even before that, you gotta have faith, right? So you gotta write the vision. You start with the vision, and then the next step now is you gotta have faith that what you believe or what you're hoping for, right, is going to come to pass. And then after the faith comes what? Comes the work. Because faith without work is dead. So that's the part though that most people stop at. Most people don't want to put in the work. They create the vision, they have the faith and the belief that it's gonna take place, but they stop. And I'm putting in the work. And putting in the work is like almost like that's like if you just think about a seed. You put the seed in the ground and then you gotta start watering the seed. No farmer that plants a seed ever says, if he plants an apple seed, he doesn't say, oh, okay, I hope an apple tree grow. He knows that that's what he planted. That's where the faith part comes in at. But then now after that, that farmer has to do what? He got to fertilize that seed. He got to get that seed water. He got to get that seed sunlight. If he doesn't do those steps, then that seed that he planted will never grow. And I think it's that same way with your faith. Once you got the faith, you create the vision, you got the faith, now it's time for you to become that farmer. Every single day, you got to put in that work on that vision and work towards it. And the problem is not that your faith doesn't work. The problem is that not that the vision that you had wasn't the right vision. The problem is that most people don't want to put in the work.
S2S fam, what's going on? Listen, guys, you know how important it is to stay on top of your health, especially when life gets busy. We talk about working out all the time, taking care of ourselves. And guys, the advantage that we have is Organifi. It helps you to keep your body fueled and your energy high. One of my go-to products is the green juice. It's packed with powerful superfoods like chlorella and moringa, which are known to detoxify your body and provide natural energy. Plus, it includes spirulina and nutrient-dense algae that supports your immune system and helps reduces inflammation. This blend is perfect for starting your day right and keeping your health in check. Organifi also offers other incredible products like their red juice for natural energy boost and their gold juice for winding down at the end of the day with turmeric and other soothing ingredients. And right now, we've got an amazing deal for you. Head over to Organifi.com/success and use, of course, our promo code SUCCESS to save 20% off your entire order just because you rock with us, right? Plus, get this, guys, from October 11th to October 13th, if you spend over $80, you will get a free 15-count red juice to keep your energy up. So don't wait. Again, visit Organifi.com or Organifi.com/success and use that promo code SUCCESS and get on your way to better health.
Man, we're going to get ready to get out of here, man, and get this sermon. But I just wanted to get a y'all don't even need to come to church now because, you know what I'm saying, you got the whole thing right there. But I did, just want to sit down briefly and go through, what you're going to talk about, man. I think it's important. And I think we don't get a chance to do it on the pod enough to really discuss, kind of those throwback situations and some of those things. And one of these days, Maul going to tell you about before he had the vision. Maul just like to talk about, the forward, which is true. But people do want to hear when you was lacking the vision, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a shooter. I've talked about it, that this vision I've had, it's been since a young age, since about little Jay's age. As young back as I can remember. Now, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people mistaken this. I did not have a vision of being a speaker. I did not have a vision of owning real estate. I did not have a vision of writing a book. I didn't have those particulars, right? But I did have a vision of the overall vision of one day becoming a millionaire.
And I know that, but did you have a point where you were frustrated, you thought it might not happen?
Yes, and I'll talk about that. That point.
I know, we ain't heard that.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was frustrated after I didn't make it to the NFL.
I know you was frustrated.
I was frustrated, and I tell people all the time, I started playing video games. I got away from the vision. I started playing video games. I just thought that I never seen me getting to the destination.
You don't hear a lot about video game more, though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't heard about video. You ain't heard about Madden Mall.
Camilla's over here.
Heard about Madden Mall.
Camilla over here, brother. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Me and Tommy, we went.
We want to hear more about Madden Mall.
Oh, brother, we went and bought a Madden trophy. We made our own trophy, and whoever would win, we would sit at the house for 8 hours playing video games, playing Madden, and whoever would win would get to keep the trophy at their house. It was a trophy that we made. And it was one time in particular, bro, I was playing, and I had the Baltimore Ravens. Listen to this. I had the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And I was playing against Tommy. He had Tampa Bay. He would always play with Tampa Bay. I had the Baltimore Ravens. Tampa Bay running back was Aaron Stecker.
And I'm
my running back in college.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore Ravens, I would play with Ed, with the middle linebacker.
And
Here it is, bro. I got an interception one time. And I ran it back for a touchdown, about 30-yard touchdown.
With Ed.
And I was celebrating, bro, like I was the one playing in the NFL. I was really there, patting myself on the chest. I was sitting here, and here it is. This is a guy that played ball with me in college. Literally hung out with me, was my boy. And now this dude is in the NFL, really living his life, and I'm playing this video game, pretending to be him, while I'm tackling the running back that played with me, that was in class with me, that was with me. And I said, they out here really living their life, and I'm over here pretending to be there. And I said, if I don't do something, if I don't make a change.
So it was that day?
It was that day I stopped playing video games. I used to play video. Camilla's over here.
Your last interception.
I promise you I ain't played a video game, and probably, Camilla, how long it's been since I played a video game?
Cool. 20. Where's me?
But how often was I playing video games?
All the time.
For how many hours a day?
Long time.
Over 8 hours a day.
I used to always say you're only as good as your last game.
You're only as good as your last game, bro. Here I am.
Yeah,
we had it all. We had it all. We the trophies, we had it all. But I was like, oh, this is not connected to my vision. So it was at that point that I said, I need to stop and put away the video. When I was a child, I spoke as a child.
Yeah.
I thought as a child, but then I became a man and I put away my childish things, my childish ways. And I stopped playing video. I haven't picked up a joystick and played a video game in over at least 22 years, 20 years, 21, 22 years.
Yeah, me too. I stopped playing in college. And I'm usually college, so it's probably been about 20 years. But I did recently pick up a joystick. And I'm usually, I forgot, they don't call them joysticks no more.
I don't even know, bro. It's been that long.
Pause. But now they call them controllers.
We're in the church.
Well, I'm just saying, joysticks sound wild now. You know what I'm saying? But remember when it was like, before it was like pass the joystick. And I said that to my son. He was like, what's a joystick?
That's like Atari, right?
Yeah. I said, he said, it's a controller, Dad. But let me tell you something. So I told you we bought him that, he got a PS5, for Christmas because they 10 now or whatever. And, bro, I got on that game, bro. I almost had a motion sickness panic attack playing for about 30 seconds, bro. The screen was moving all crazy.
Yeah.
So it ain't for you anyway. We're going to hear a lot more about Madden Mall. I know we hear about Baller Mall all the time, Vision Mall, Madden Mall. We're going to hear about some more of these tournaments. But anyway, we appreciate y'all logging in with us. As always, man, subscribe to the Patreon. Y'all check us out. Anything else to say before you get down there? I think the hip hop preacher should be close to making his grand arrival. He's gonna be mad he missed this too, by the way. We talking about the word, talking about fake vision. Oh, bro.
This is love language.
Oh, bro.
He might cut him in.
Oh, bro. Like, so, yeah, Jose, see if you can digitally impose like his sermon right in the middle of this. So anyway, man, we appreciate y'all. We love you. We out of here. We'll see you next week.
Yo, what's up, fam? It's your boy, E.T. Hey, y'all been seeing these videos I've been doing where I've been like, what do you want? What do you need? Right? And so, got some feedback. And so for the S2S podcast, we're gonna remove it from its current home, right? And we're gonna put it on his own page, right? So you can do what? Have clear access, a clear path to get everything you need. So do me a favor, don't embarrass me now. All right, so we're about to separate it, and we're gonna separate it for you, but make sure you use it. So do me a favor, stop what you're doing right now. Don't be like me. You're going through your phone a year later trying to find somebody's name because you didn't stop right then and put it in. So go to S2S Podcast channel right now, all right? Click that link, get over there, get subscribed so that everything we got going, announcements, reward, everything is gonna come directly to you, all right? So stop what you're doing right now and go sign up. No, I mean right now. Like right now. I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart.
Thank you so much for rocking with us as always, right? We don't take it lightly, guys. And we hope that we've provided transformation and not just information. We want you to become the best version of yourself. All right, make sure you check out the show notes to access all the important links and get your product discounts. Now, one favor we're asking of you, do us this favor. Make sure you subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We want to know your feedback and how we can serve you better. And if there's anyone that you think could benefit from listening to this show, please, I'm begging you, please share it with them. And remember, as E always says, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.